Choose your character.
Hello, you cool cats and kittens. It's me, Chris. Welcome back to Podcast by Default. Now, last week, you know that we released the first episode of Am I the Asshole? This week, we're releasing the second episode. Please enjoy.
Okay, I think I'll go because I want to. So, okay, wait. I have like a million thingies saved. So I'm just gonna read the titles, and you tell me which one you want me to read.
The third one.
So, okay, well. Oh wait, no, that was kind of obvious though. Okay, how about am I the asshole for allowing my 8-year-old daughter to shave her head? You gonna do that?
What else?
For telling my mom what my cousin did. For not letting my sister-in-law use my art for her books. For reporting a girl to HR for harassment. For burping in front of my fiance.
That one sounds funny.
That one's really short. I basically told Chris and Kim about it earlier. So basically, you were there too. Anyway, I'm currently 8 weeks pregnant, which was unexpected. One symptom that I have is extreme gas. I belch like a frat boy 24/7, and I can't help it. They just slip out. I've tried to bicarbonate with water. I've tried everything. Fast forward to yesterday. My fiance and I were lying down on the couch as I was getting up. I let out an ungodly loud burp. He looked at me and called me disgusting. He says he can't look at me the same, as it's really gross. Prior to getting pregnant, I never burped/farted in front of him, so am I the asshole?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna need you.
Oh, where do we begin?
So, what do you guys think? Sorry, I'll like pause for a second.
Let's start off with, no, you're not the asshole.
No, she's not. Yeah. I would say no to that one.
We're all just a little bit shocked right now. Just taking it in.
So she's asking if she's the asshole for farting. Or sorry, burping?
Burping. I was burping.
Pregnant. Burping, by the way, much better than farting. I would pick a burp over farting.
Yeah.
So she was pregnant at the time when she farted or burped it or whatever?
Yeah, she's pregnant currently. And yeah, it's ever since being pregnant, she has like really bad gas.
My question is,
that's normal for pregnant women.
Why does she feel guilty?
Because
he's an asshole.
He's guilting her. He's like, I can't look at you the same after that.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that TV show 16. You guys remember that show?
Oh,
Yeah.
Good
And
show.
do you remember
forget?
Do you remember the episode where Jonesy and Nikki were like having a date and she ended up like farting or something? Or she took a crap in his bathroom, but then stuff was overflowing. Anyway, big mess. And the next day, that weirdo guy who owned the DVD store was telling him how once girls stop being sexy, it's over for you. And Jonesy had to pick being a good guy, understand that girls can fart like Nikki does, or being a loser like Wayne talking about, once a girl farts, she's no longer sexy. And this is what it reminds me of. And what I think is, this guy, this husband or boyfriend, whoever, the baby daddy needs to understand one thing. Just like how he takes a shit and he farts and he burps, she does the same thing too. And he needs to understand that. Because now he's a loser like Wayne.
He's chosen the Wayne way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that it was, I don't know, none of mine are really controversial. It's pretty clear who the asshole is, but it's just so shocking that happened.
Yeah.
Someone.
You would understand, especially when a woman is pregnant, that she can't control what her body does.
I know. Give her a break. She's farting for 2 now.
She's burping for
Yeah.
2.
It's not her burping in front of her fiance, it's their future child
I
that's
know,
burping in
that's
front
what
of
If
makes
her.
it
anything,
worse.
he should be mad at the child.
Imagine getting
He should
mad
just
at your
not be
baby
mad
for
at anybody.
farting or burping.
He should be mad at himself for not being able to hear a burp without being personally offended.
So, what do we rate it as?
Well, her 0.
Her
Appreciate
0, and the
Him,
baby gets a 0 too.
yeah, the baby gets 0 as well.
The baby gets a 5 for breaking up a future marriage with their parents.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. But
I mean, if anything, the baby would be a savior because she would dodge a bullet right there.
Yeah, I hope
that's
she
what I was
runs.
about to say. Also, Chris, what's on your forehead?
A fucking clip.
A binder clip? Or
I look
No.
Oh,
up
it's a hair
and
clip.
It's not a hair clip.
Oh.
It's a paper clip.
Oh, it looks like
I
the
thought it was
food
pack of gum.
clips.
He just stick to pack of gum because it's quarantine. Why not?
Honestly, it's a new hairdo that could be the new trend.
It's not going to be.
You could, if you advertised it right, it could be, Chris. Never say never.
If I had another one, I could put the other one like on the other side, and it might be a fashion trend.
Verdict?
Not the asshole.
0.
She is not the asshole. He
No,
is
she-
the asshole.
Yes, he
The
is.
baby is a 5 for potential.
The baby probably doesn't even have an asshole yet. So no.
True.
Wait, isn't that the first part that gets formed?
Well,
Isn't that the belly button?
What?
What are you guys saying?
Science class with podcast by default.
You're gonna fail.
Yeah.
As
Don't
the
listen
only
to us.
person
We're all tired.
Okay. Lucy looking at me like I just killed her mom, so I'm gonna let her go. Lucy, you wanna go? Yeah, go. Let's go. Come on. Come here.
Yeah. That's as far as barking dogs with popcorn is gonna get you.
Yeah.
Okay. Here
It's a amount of
is a-
popcorn.
Wait. Before we move on, I have a question.
Yeah.
Would y'all be offended if someone burped in your face? Like, how
in
offended
my
would you be?
face. Yes, I would be offended. Here's why. You have all this space around you. You choose right here to burp, right in front of my face to burp.
I feel like if it's family members, it's like whatever, because I know you're trying to piss me off. A total stranger,
Just don't-
for example.
If you burp,
Like
in
if
front of
someone
me
just
or
came
around
up to me like, "Here, this is for you," and burped, yeah.
if you burp in front of me or around me, that's fine. But the fact that you want to be in my face, like again, like I said, we have all this space around you. Why are you choosing right here to go like like excuse me?
Wait, can you guys burp on command?
No.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I can try. There, that's as much as I can get.
Oh, that was good.
He's completely derailed.
Okay, let's look at another one. I think I have a good one here. I emphasis on the word I think. I think this one seems. I actually haven't fully read through it, so at least we can have all live reaction together. Let me just clear my throat. You know. Am I the asshole? My parents. This is the title. My parents took most of my wardrobe away as punishment, and I said I didn't want the clothes back because
I
it's
saw
obvious they're not
that.
actually mine. Right?
I
That's the
saw
title.
that.
Oh, I
It's
saw
so
that
weird. Yeah. That was
I
literally
didn't-
18 hours ago or something.
Tell me
Yeah.
a story, Kim. Tell me a story.
All right. So it says, I got in trouble this fall. I'm a junior in high school. And then she had to edit to add when I got in trouble. People asked. I smoked weed with a guy in the woods after and got
In the
caught.
woods
I also
after school? Excuse me, what?
I mean, listen, people I know used to do that too. Like, I guess it's a trend, I guess. But anyway, I smoked. Oh yeah, she said she also made out with the guy a couple of times, and her parents found out. Also that. All right. So basically, as punishment, my parents took away a lot of things: my clothes, except for 3 pairs of plain jeans and 3 black shirts, and my coat, and
That's
all my
all
makeup
I
and hair
own.
stuff, purses, shoes.
How
Saying I
often do
had
they
to-
do laundry? If it's
Well,
only...
they said took everything like makeup, purses, shoes and whatever. She said, they said I had to earn these things back with good behavior, and I don't get to engage in any hobby that includes fashion until I've earned it. Anyway, it was a shitty couple of months, but I came to a realization. It was actually kind of nice to not have to think about where and how I looked. My friends knew what my parents had done and didn't judge me. I also told anyone who asked why I looked like I only had one outfit, and it was no big deal. I know it was supposed to be demanding humiliating punishment to make me look bad at school, but honestly, it just makes them look bad when people in school know that I'm only allowed to wear one thing. Oh shit! I don't know why I'm laughing so hard. I don't want to have things that are just something someone else can hold in my head. I don't want the old makeup back, and if I'm gonna get back into that stuff, I'll do it on my own terms. I'll buy my own stuff. So I told my parents that I don't care if they kept the clothes and makeup. They've made it clear that the stuff doesn't belong to me, and it's gross to me to spend every day wearing clothes that aren't mine that can be given and taken as punishment. I'd feel gross, and I'd rather not wear them again. So now my parents are mad because they got all the clothes boxed up in the attic and that the family spent money on and they're going to waste. Nobody else can wear them. My mom isn't my size and my is my little brother. I said I don't care and I want clothes that are my own and those aren't it. Am I an asshole for not taking the clothes back and letting them go to waste?
I mean,
No.
you're
Silence.
your
No.
own person. You can choose to decide what to wear, what not to wear, what you put on your face, what you don't put on your face.
I mean, the post is very like the OP is very much a high schooler, you know, like it just feels gross to wear clothes that aren't mine or whatever. But I get it. I get where she's coming from. And if she doesn't want the clothes back, she doesn't have to take them. Like
In a,
parents chose to get them for her.
in a
Now
way,
they
though,
want it. They can do whatever they want with it.
in a way,
So
she's kind of right. I think he's right, and it kind of serves the parents right for the realization. First of all, the fact that her punishment for like something like weed or like kissing a boy or whatever, if that's what she's being punished for, makes to be
kissing a
honest
boy
with
with
you, I
weed in
think
his mouth.
it's next level
Ew.
stupid for you to be like, I'm gonna take all your clothes away and all of your makeup away, and you have to just look like you only own one thing. You're humiliating your daughter, but for what though? Like at what cost? And then you're mad that she came to a realization. Like she is kind of right because she's like, what the fuck? These are clothes. Why is this being held over my head? I don't want it if you're gonna hold it over my head.
But I just
Like,
it's like it's almost like she reached a point of self actualization. Like material goods are no longer my interest. I'm fine with 3 pairs of jeans. Like that sounds like a better headspace. You know, why not encourage that?
Yeah,
Yeah, she wants to earn it, then goodbye her. Like,
if anything,
I
that
feel
should just
like,
show that she's mature enough that she's actually willing. She said, you know what, fine. Now maybe they should be happy. Be like, okay, she's gonna know the value of money and what goes into buying certain things that she likes. It's probably a part of her growing up. Why are they mad? I don't understand that.
they're mad
That's
because
me.
they're losing
They can't
control
control.
over her and they don't
Mhm.
have anything else to hang over her head.
Yeah, they lost a punishment. That's why. Love your hair, Chris. That should be her next step on her fashion journey.
This is a great time for me to put that quote out where sometimes there are certain times where parents, and like you can be parents in general, maybe yours don't do it, maybe you know what I mean. It depends on circumstances, but sometimes parents will get mad and sometimes they'll act like they care so much because they want to control you, not because they actually care. They'll be mad at you because they want to control you and they don't like what you're doing, not because
Yeah.
they want to like they care about you. You think they? Yes, I'm not saying that they don't care about their daughter, but I'm telling you, if your intentions behind your thing was to really care about what she's doing, you would be advising her, don't go kissing boys or don't be smoking weed. They'd advise her, you know what I mean, and maybe ground her, saying, okay, because of that, you're grounded for 2 weeks. Not, I'm gonna take away your clothes so you can't look nice anymore. That's control. That's stupid. I'm not even gonna be like, that's disgusting and toxic in our society. I'm not even gonna go like all. That's dumb. Y'all are dumb, and now you have a bunch of clothes. Now you have urban planets sitting up in your attic, and nobody wants them.
And
oh,
like
look
I
on the bright
understand
side.
if they just like really wanted her to learn her lesson, but even then like they should be proud that she's learned that lesson and then some, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they pulled out the ungrateful card. They're probably just like, you're so
Oh yeah,
ungrateful.
probably.
Like, excuse you. Don't be dumb.
Don't be a dumb cunt.
I can hear.
So
Oh,
what's our final verdict?
she's not the asshole.
I would
She's not
give
the
her like
asshole.
a 1.
I'm gonna give her a 1 as well, only because of the fact that she's in high school. She got a lot to learn. The one will give her like motivation to get better.
I'm only gonna give her the one just because I'm like, bitch, makeup is expensive. I mean, listen, clothes are expensive too, but makeup is expensive. And I don't know what she out here with using. Maybe she's using Maybelline, or maybe she's using Urban Decay. We don't know, but either way, it's expensive. Just give
And
the
like,
one.
you can do so much stuff with the
Mhm.
clothes. Even if you don't wear them, you could easily donate them to.
You
Uh,
could revamp them.
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know if this makes me the asshole, but I would take them back just to sell them. Get the money,
I would keep the
exactly.
money for myself.
Yeah,
Oh
and
yeah.
then buy my own clothes with the money.
I'm the good person here. I would donate them to a
Also,
charity so they can raise money.
also, it's like the thing that Jess said earlier, and she was like, it seems like she reached a higher calling or whatever. Like, I think that's why I'm giving her the one. Like, that's the real reason. Sounds so stupid.
Like
That's my fault.
2 years
I'm
down the
sorry,
line,
Poppy.
she's gonna realize that she likes material things, and she's only saying this to give her parents the what's the word? The contrary.
It does seem like she's trying to like seem more mature kind of thing, but you know, it could still be real progress. So why deter that? You know?
Mm,
That's true.
I'm looking at the comments right now.
Nah, she's getting the one. She sounds pretentious.
yeah.
I'm reading the comments right now, and people are saying, "Yeah, you're definitely not the asshole." Chances are your parents. That's just a really shitty move of your parents because someone's like feeding your kids and clothing your kids and like giving them a house is pretty much
Basic
like
stuff.
the bare minimum of parenthood. Pretty
Yeah.
much, it's the bare minimum, and I totally agree with that because some people literally try to make that like they use that against you. Like that's what you're supposed to do. I'm sorry, regardless of whether you like it or not. And it said it's not some gift that you give your children. Take any of these things away. It's not a punishment. It's a I don't know if I don't know. And then it said the reason why most parents decide to take away phones, video games, and internet access is because those are considered luxuries. So taking them away is an acceptable punishment. But taking away clothes, that's basically taking away one of like your necessities. And I'm like,
That's also
guilty.
something that popped into my mind. Because when you're at that age, you do start applying for jobs, part-time jobs, and stuff like that, and you do need nice clothes and makeup to get into said job, and that's a necessity in today's day and age. So they're also doing her harm.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So are the parents the assholes? What would
Oh
you
yeah,
rate
definitely.
them?
The parents are about on a scale of 1 to 10. The parents are about a good 20.
I
I would
think
give them a 9.
I wouldn't say that they're 20. I think they'd be like an 8. I just feel like my parents have done different things.
I would give them
But
like a 7, just because I think it's misguided.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
I
like
don't
I
think
listen,
it's
can't say
supposed.
that what they did was inherently bad. It
but
was
see,
just
that's the
like
thing though. Like
stupid.
they could have punished in other ways or something like that. I just think that's just the punishment. So I'm just over here like, yeah, that's a freaking dumb punishment.
It's not good
Like
parenting.
they went after fashion because it was her hobby. Like that's I guess why they confused it with a luxury. Even though I don't think it's a luxury either. But yeah, I just think it was like they need to grow a little bit. So they're not. They just yeah. I just see it as misguided. So I can't really place it that high.
Yeah, not good parenting.
No, no, definitely not. Would not argue that it is, but I don't
If
think they're
anything,
like
to me,
trying
it
to be
just seems
evil.
almost like when people are lazy as fuck, and I don't want to call them lazy parents, right? But when people are like lazy to come up with an actual punishment that makes sense, they just come up with a random thing.
Hmm.
I feel like that's something probably like the first thing that popped in mind. They're like, okay, what should we do about our daughter who's sleeping and kissing boys? Should we just ground it? Nah, man, I don't think that's good enough. How about we take away all her clothes? Did you just think of that? Yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll do it. To me, that just doesn't seem like it was well thought out. Because
Oh
look,
yeah,
it came to
definitely
bite them
not.
in the ass.
Yeah, they just need to admit defeat, basically. They were outsmarted by like what I assume is a 15-year-old.
I guess we move on to the next post, and I have a fun one right here. So, am I the asshole for buying a $50,000 guitar for $4,000 and refusing to sell it back when the buyer found out the real value?
I love this.
Okay, I already have a verdict by the title, but let's see if that changes. Go.
Oh, it's your verdict is gonna go further, like to a more extreme level. This happened a while back. My wife and I still talk about it once in a while. She's on my side, and most of our friends and family are. However, when it happened, it was like World War III between us and her co-workers and others. Here we go. I've been playing the guitar for 22 years. I know guitar values and whatnot very well. I'm very into the guitar market. At my wife's old company, she was hanging out with co-workers one day after work, and she mentioned that I play guitar. A co-worker who I guess is very popular at work said that his dad passed away and he was selling his dad's things. His dad had a guitar and asked my wife if I'd be interested in it. My wife texted me and I said to have him send me the info on the guitar and the price. The next day he texted me the pics and the price. It was a 1952 Telecaster in mint condition. He had the original receipt. He had the original receipts, which was crazy. That's how I knew the date. I asked what he wanted for it, and he said he looked up Telecasters online and he thinks $4,000 is fair. I texted back, I'll take it for $4,000 and went to pick it up. The guitar had no sentimental value to him at all. Here's the issue at hand. The guitar was/is worth approximately $50,000 depending on the buyer, and I knew it. When I got the guitar, I told my wife the price and what it was worth. She was floored. Fast forward 2 weeks, her coworker tells my wife that he just found out that the guitar was actually worth what the guitar was actually worth from a family friend, and he wanted it back. She said, well, he really likes the guitar and he knew it was worth $50,000, which is why he was floored when you offered it to him for $4,000. He really likes it, and I doubt he will sell it back. But you can ask. In brackets, probably not the smartest thing for her to say, but she was caught off guard and it's not her fault or problem. Close bracket. He contacted me and asked to buy it back. I said that it was not for sale. Then he said I scammed him and he was going to sue me and take my wife to HR for being part of the scam, which was nuts. But he actually did contact HR. They were cool about it and said it's not their problem. It's between him and me. Over the next few months, he made things very uncomfortable for my wife at work. He would bug her constantly about it. She eventually had to go to HR for harassment, and they actually let him go. Open bracket. She complained twice, and he was warned and didn't stop. Close bracket. He's contacted me several times about it, so I got a restraining order for harassment too. I blocked him as well. I haven't heard from him in about a year. Am I the asshole?
No.
No.
Okay. I can
I've read
understand
this
why you would.
before, and I still feel like every time I read it, it's a trap.
I can understand why this guy would be like for a $50,000 guitar, but at the same time, you agreed. If you really cared that much about how much it would, you would have done your research. You would have done more research on it. Like you would have asked around
But you had the
before selling it.
receipts. Like,
You had receipts.
Yeah.
This man doesn't have an excuse. It's not like he didn't know when it was made and how much it originally cost and what you know what I mean. He didn't. It's not like he
the
didn't.
original value would have been very cheap
Less
back in
than
the day.
50,000,
Yeah.
but yeah.
No, I
yeah,
know.
but like he
It
would
ages
have
over
had
time, and
enough
he
information based off of the receipts to do his research on how much
Exactly.
it's worth. You
I
know?
don't
clearly-
understand the leap of you scammed me because he named the price. It's not like the guy was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I heard those are only worth like 4,000. Let me just give you that."
Mhm.
Like, no, he was just like, "What do you want for it?" And like, it's not his fault that he was a dumbass and didn't know what it was really worth.
also just to, it was pretty much. I mean, I don't know if they actually signed any pay. I don't think he mentioned that or whatever. But either way, when they text about it, or whatever, that's pretty much almost like not like an actual contract, but you get you guys get what I'm trying to say. It's almost like that was
Yeah.
an agreement.
That's
They
evidence.
agreed on it. That's
Under-
evidence that they agreed on it.
Under contract law, it is a contract because they made an agreement and they both held up the ends of the agreement. What happens after the contract has been dealt with is not part of the contract.
Yeah, like if his wife wasn't a coworker and he just sold it to some rando, like what he couldn't have done anything. He would have just accepted the loss. He wouldn't have been like that guy scammed me.
Hmm.
Like there's just nothing you can do. Like sucks to be you, but it's
I
no
agree.
one's fault but his own.
You made the contract. You came up with the terms of the contract. The contract was finalized. You both held up your ends of the agreement, there's nothing you can do about it.
And you know what, too? Another thing, too, is that when Jess was saying that, okay, it's not like the guy came up to him saying, oh, I heard that these are 4,000. He didn't even do that. He was just asking the guy what his price is. And the guy who was selling it originally was like, basically said how he did his research and all that kind of stuff. So, no offense, you can easily say, it's not our fault that you didn't do better research. You can't be blaming somebody else for your lack of research. He clearly was just trying to get it away, get it out of his thing. And then sadly he found out. If you really cared about how much it was and how much you're gonna get your money's worth, you would have asked around and done the proper research. But since you obviously didn't care about it, which is fine, you were willing to give it away. Why are you being so? I can see why he's being petty though, because like $50,000 versus 4,000, it's like.
I understand bitter and I understand petty, but to like harass the wife for so long
And take it up
to
to
him,
HR, who have nothing to do with it.
yeah, he deserved to get fired and he deserved a restraining order. Like, I'm sorry, like it's an L, but sometimes when you're a dummy, you take the L. That's it.
You know, speaking of assholes and how to be an asshole, I think one of the most interesting ways to be an asshole to yourself is by not drinking water. Yeah.
These messages have been brought to you by these messages that have been brought to you by water. Water. Drink it.
This podcast has been brought to you by water. So refreshing.
There was an update posted underneath it. It says, well, this post blew up way beyond what I was expecting. It looks like I wasn't noted not the asshole. There's over 5,000 comments. I couldn't read them all, but I did read a lot just to clear some things. I left some things out because I didn't want to influence opinions and really wanted it to be about me buying a guitar at a significantly lower market value versus the people in the story. I did include the fact that the guy was harassing my wife at work because, not to make the guy sound bad, but because I thought it was relevant to the story. Here's some specific details I chose not to include. The guy and his dad were not close at all. So those people saying that he was grieving and I took advantage of him, that is 100% not the case. When I went to get the guitar, he was telling me that he hadn't talked to his dad in 6 years and was actually annoyed that he had to deal with a funeral. The dad bought the guitar new and never played it. Luckily, it was stored in a closet and not in the basement or attic. There's no issue with the wood or electronics. It plays like a dream and I couldn't be happier. I'm not selling the guitar to the son or anyone. It will be with me for a long time. I'm in my 30s, so maybe in 30 years it will find a new home. I would have maybe considered giving the guy more money or giving him one of my guitars to sell on his own, but I decided not to do that after he sent a terrible voicemail on my phone the day he found out the real value. He demanded it back like he was entitled to an object he sold fair and square. Called me a piece of shit, called my wife a piece of shit, and said he would do bad things if I didn't sell him the guitar. And to those people who said they would have told the guy the real value, that's a load of horseshit. If you went to a garage sale / estate sale and saw an item worth 5,000 price of 50, there's not a snowball's chance in hell you would walk up to a homeowner and tell them that they mispriced it. You'd buy the item and then tell all your friends and family what a great score you got. Don't even kid yourself like you wouldn't do that. I don't feel bad about buying an awesome guitar at a steal of a price. I was curious what others would think, and it looks like I'm not the asshole, so thank you, Reddit. I can play the guitar with zero guilt now, not like I felt guilty before, but now my feelings are justified.
Yeah, good for him. That's the perfect analogy, though, because that's so true. Like, if you found something at the garage sale or flea market or whatever, mispriced, you're not going to say anything. You're going to get the find. That's it.
If anything, it's celebrated whenever people do these things because, like, it's beneficial for the individual, right? That's why it's always encouraged to barter in flea markets and stuff like that because it takes talent to do these things and it takes luck to find things at a cheaper value, and it always feels amazing when we do find these things.
Damn,
Daniel.
So final verdict was
he's not the asshole. He's
Not the
smart.
asshole.
And good on you for getting a restraining order. I also feel really bad for the wife. Like,
Oh yeah, she had to deal with so much
side note,
bullshit.
she shouldn't have to deal with something like that. Okay, so are we ready for the next one?
Yes.
Are we?
Because I have a pretty popular one that I saw. This is from 11 months ago, so this is way before the whole COVID thing. Ahem. So it starts off by with the title of being, "Will I be the asshole if I ask my pregnant wife to move out because she and her best friend decided to test my loyalty?" Hold your thoughts. My wife
I
is
wish you guys could see our faces right now,
I know.
because
I don't.
we all. I mean, we all have the most priceless reaction. We're like, what?
My wife is pregnant with our daughter. Initially, we were really happy and excited about it. But then she starts acting like a nut job. She gets angry and irritated for small things, insults me when she doesn't like the food I make,
It's almost like she's
starts
pregnant.
acting insecure, and accuses me of losing attraction for her. Yeah, it does kind of sound like she's pregnant.
Yeah.
For example, she wanted to eat chicken sandwiches for dinner last week. Well, I made chicken sandwiches, so she eats all the sandwiches, leaves me nothing, and told me they tasted like shit. I wasn't pissed because she left me nothing. But if she didn't like them, why did she have to eat everything? When I asked her this, she told me she was hungry. Okay, fine. She does this every time, eats everything I make, and calls it shit. I don't argue with her because I work for more than 80 hours a week and I really want to have some peace when I'm at home. So yesterday, a random girl starts flirting with me after the gym and asked me if I wanted to meet up with her for some drinks. I rejected her and told her I was married. And when I got home, my wife started to hug me and apologize. When I asked her what had happened, she told me that her best friend suggested a test for my loyalty. So they asked a mutual friend to flirt with me and asked me out. And I passed. Yay! I'm really pissed. I'm done with her antics. Will I be the asshole if I ask her to move out?
Holy crap.
How are you feeling? This was one of the weirder ones where, like, in the beginning I was like, oh yes, you are the asshole. And then as it goes on, you're like, oh wait.
Oh wait, no, you're innocent. The pregnant lady's the asshole.
Well, I think this is one of the rare cases where everyone sucks here. You know?
Yeah.
Like, the friend probably sucks way more.
Oh yeah, the friend's
Kim,
totally
you're on mute.
20 over 10. What I'm thinking, what I'm wondering is if all the her eating all the food and then calling it shit and then downgrading him, was that also part of the plan to make her seem less
True.
attractive, so that the friend that put him to the test would have a greater chance?
You have a good point. That could have all been part of the scheme. And him dealing with it could have also been a factor that they didn't really talk about. But I don't know, like, I feel like the way that he describes her.
Oh my
like,
god! Wait, sorry, not to
sounds like
cut you off,
she's just
Ange.
being. What?
Not to cut you off. I was replying the whole time, and then my thing was on mute.
Yeah, I said you were on mute. And then I thought that you were talking to someone else. That's why I was like, oh, she's not talking to us.
I thought you were eating.
I was, and that's why I had to mute, and I was replying to it. And I was like, wait, hold up. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, Kim, and then like you were looking away, so I was like, oh, she's not talking to us. But anyways, what was your input, Kim?
No, you say what you have to say first. I'll talk after. I forgot.
Well, I was basically saying, like, the way he reacted to his wife, like, describing what she was like, it just sounds like she's pregnant. You should be a little bit more empathetic of that part. But the second half, when she tested him, like, did you really have to do that? Like, I get that when you're pregnant, you think crazy things, but, like, really? You know what? Actually, never mind. I blame the friend more. I
Yeah.
bet you the friend
The friend-
egged her on. She wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for the friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because for the most part, I'm gonna be honest with you. when I first heard it, I was like, first of all, he's being a little bit of asshole because I understand, like, obviously the pregnancy hormones, like, obviously a lot for somebody to handle. At the same time, you should kind of be a little bit more like, if she's hungry, chances are, bitch, she's eating for two. She's eating for two. That's probably what's the first second pregnancy we had today, huh? Wow, there's a pregnancy theme here. Anyway,
There's so many themes.
yeah, she's so like she's eating for two. Even whether she likes it or not. But I mean, everybody knows when you're pregnant, you know your emotions, your mood up and down, fluctuating, whatever. So I can understand. I think you should have been a little bit more towards that. But then when she was like testing him, you guys are right. It's got to be like the restaurant probably like added on to that because I'm gonna be honest. Here's how I'm seeing it. Her hormones probably were like, oh my god, like he got annoyed at me for not eating. I'm just saying it's one thing. I'm not trying to generalize all pregnant women. So here,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like she probably maybe felt some type of way. Maybe they had an argument about something else. Didn't seem as like lovey-dovey as maybe usual, right? She was emotional thing, or she was just venting her how she was feeling to her friend, and her friend was probably like, "Yo, girl, let's test him." Why would you even put the fucking idea in that girl's head? Why'd you like?
That's the last thing a pregnant woman needs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stress is not good for the baby. What you gotta stress her out by doing?
But also, like, when you reach the end of it, he ultimately asks, "Will I be the asshole for asking her to move out?" Like,
Yeah, that's a little bit a
isn't
lot. That's
that
a
a
lot.
little much?
That's a
That
little
is
much.
an overstretch. That's overreacting. Wait,
This is what we
didn't
say.
he put an update that he wasn't actually gonna move out?
I'm looking for it right now, actually.
Because if I remember correctly, I've seen the story somewhere before, and he does update that he wasn't actually thinking of moving out. Although it
Unless
could
there's
be
more
another.
assholes in the, unless there's more assholes asking their girls to move out.
Some people say not the asshole because just because you're pregnant doesn't mean that you're allowed to be a psychopath. Like, I wouldn't say this.
But they can't. When the women, I don't want to say it like women are some like helpless being or whatever, because that's definitely not the case. If anything, they're stronger than most people believe, especially when pregnant. But like this isn't something that she wakes up one day and is like, I think I'm gonna be bitchy and emotional and I'm gonna cry and I'm gonna feel like a bunch of things. No, nobody wakes up like that and be like, today I think I'm just gonna give my husband a hard time because I'm bored. Like
Some people do that. You
some
shouldn't
people
do
do
that.
that,
You
but
shouldn't
like
do.
not.
That's called being toxic.
That's called being toxic. But to be honest, I don't fucking know at this point. All I know is whoever's saying she should not be as much of a psycho, bitch, tell that to your mom. Like, I think your mom might slap you. She might get the. She doesn't matter how old you are. She can get the belt.
Yeah, I don't know. I know she's being psycho, but also like, I'm not saying that it's like a free pass to be psycho, but that wasn't like
That was out of line.
crazy. It was out of line, but it wasn't crazy, you know? Like, people who aren't pregnant do that. Like, they test their significant others.
So verdict.
For this guy, for
For
kicking her out while she's pregnant, I don't know. This is a weird
he didn't
one.
kick her out. He was thinking of doing that.
Yeah.
What do you do? I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of want to give it like, not gonna give it the high 10 like near. I'm probably gonna say maybe a 5 only because he definitely for the idea of wanting to kick her out, just a bunch of other things like what we just. But he definitely is an asshole for being pissed off about a loyalty test. Maybe a 5, maybe a 4.
Especially when he's working like 80 hours a week. Like that stresses you out.
Okay, Chris, what would you give?
I would give him 4. I would have given him a 1 if he didn't say the ask her to move out part. So that raises him to like a 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 5 because like how he's reacting towards like, oh, and I can understand why it would be like annoying in a sense, to have somebody like always like, all it just tastes like shit. I can definitely see what it's annoying, but then again, it's like you got her pregnant. You gotta deal with this. You gotta deal with these things, but at the same time, it's like just the asking part that itself is way too extreme. Like, what do you gain from? So what's gonna happen when the baby comes?
Hey, your mom is a psycho. So I kicked her out while she was pregnant with you. Like, Imagine telling that to you.
Okay, do we have any other Am I the Asshole stories?
No, I think that's everything for today. We're running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this little podcast episode of Podcast by Default, and where we talked about if people are assholes or not. And I hope some of our comments didn't make you think we were assholes. We're not.
Oh
If you
no,
think so,
I'm an
you're an
asshole, but I'm like nice too.
If you think we're an asshole because we gave an honest opinion, then we're gonna call you an asshole. There we go. It's just assholes all around. So
I'm okay being an asshole as long as I'm not hairy.
I'm already hairy.
you know what, Angela? You better stop. My brown ass is offended.
I'm just joking. See,
Oh.
that's why I'm an asshole.
We're not gonna take up more of your time, guys. This has been another episode of Podcast by Default, and we hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys, listen, like, comment, subscribe, the whole jazz, everything. Just make sure you guys do all of that. Share with your friends so they can find out they're assholes too, or if they think that these people are assholes. Just in general. Make sure you guys check out the Reddit thing. And yeah, so it's been Kim.
And
I'm Chris. Just got disconnected because her
Yeah, just
Wi-Fi
got
died.
disconnected. Yeah, so Jess, she's got disconnected, but she's here. And we are Podcast by Default, and we will talk to you guys next time.
peace
Bye-bye.
out, assholes.
Peace.